Welcome to this week's deep dive. This week, we're super excited to have the fabulous Aly Brunton from commonsku. Welcome, Aly.
Hi, it's great to be here.
We're excited to have you. So Aly is the senior marketing coordinator at commonsku, and she is the face behind the SKUbot. And so if you hear or see anything, it's usually coming from Aly because she's fabulous at what she's doing. And if we could, we'd give you an award because I'm being cheesy here, but our topic was on awards and recognition.
That's a very smooth segue. I like that.
Thank you. I've been trying on that. So if people aren't familiar, this may feel like a self-serving conversation because at Claremont we do awards, but it is a matter of I get nerdy about awards. I love the logic behind it, the process behind it. So I'm always excited to talk about this one. And this one's a lot of fun because I had a hand in this one. So we started with the question of, let's say you're starting fresh with a brand new awards program. How do you decide what to celebrate? What deserves to be highlighted and rewarded? How is your award categories? And you came back with, we started this community awards with a focus in recognizing those that go above and beyond in whatever category that may be. For example, Cody from Snugs goes out of his way to connect distributors with suppliers, even if it's not them. That deserves recognition. So if you're not familiar with the Community Awards, they're very cool looking. I mean, some cool companies do not design them. But what you did was you awarded them this year at SKUCon, like your annual event. And they kind of varied from, they moved from people who work behind the scenes to people like Cody who just are social, those that use your software and those that use your social platform. And so I'm really interested, how did you guys come up with the categories and how did you measure and decide who the winners would be? Because these are hard and soft skills. So not everything comes with a metric.
Yeah, so when we were first kind of brainstorming this Community Awards idea, we knew that there was obviously tons of awards in this industry, which are all very prestigious, and we were looking to those kind of for inspiration, but we knew that we didn't want to do the exact same thing as those. We wanted to be something a little bit different. So we definitely started with those hard skills, and we knew that the baseline, or the short list, so to say, was going to be people that obviously were having a good sales year, who were bringing in a lot of great leads, or were having great success with customer service and things like that, things that were very measurable, especially through the commonsku platform. But then building upon that, we also wanted to be someone who was kind of going above and beyond that call of duty, or doing things that were just exemplary of what we had always envisioned this community being used for, that they were achieving. So in the case of the example, like Cody, like you said, obviously he's amazing at customer service and at being social and answering those questions, and his response time is ridiculous. It's a minute, it's crazy. But he was also using his platform as a way to continue to build those relationships by recommending suppliers that weren't even Snugs if it wasn't a product that was in their line, or by giving people suggestions on shipping and freight and things like that they might have questions on. That obviously he didn't need to do that. That wasn't a part of his job. And it might not even be related to Snugs, but he was going above and beyond to make this community better. So those were the kind of things that we wanted to recognize alongside those kind of hard numbers and things that everyone was aware of.
That's so interesting because it is, you've called it the awards, this community awards. So you've created a community, and being able to measure, those people that are standing out despite not having the numbers of the sales or the metrics to back it up. And so was there debate in your office, trying to figure out what you were going to celebrate or who you were going to celebrate?
There was a lot of debate. I think at one point we had literally 16 different award ideas, because I think once you start kind of making a list of them, you start to realize how much amazing stuff is really going on. And especially with that being our first time doing this community awards, we're we want to recognize everyone. There's so many people that are doing awesome things.
You're all great.
Yeah, we kind of had to pull ourselves back and be okay, maybe we'll do, so we did 2 supplier, 2 distributor to make sure that it was nice and even. And then kind of breaking it down from there and being okay, so what are at our very core, for looking at our values, what are those key things that we want to recognize? And maybe in the future, we'll be able to kind of expand them out from there.
Very cool. Was there one category where you're no, someone just there and you're just like, that's not going to work at all.
I don't think so. I feel like in a way, all of those like 16 to 20 ideas we had kind of got condensed into the 4. So in a way, they all kind of like lived on. But I don't think there was anywhere we were like, no, absolutely not. We knew we didn't want them to be like cringy in any way. So we were like, oh, we don't want to do like top salesperson of the year. Like,
yeah,
that's a cringy award. Like, that's an amazing accomplishment. We just didn't want that to be our place because we knew that it wasn't our place. So we're like, we'll leave those to like the company awards. We want this community awards to be something a little bit different.
Oh yeah, and I love that because like one of the things we talked about in the chat is how much having something like that can add to culture. Like, I mean, I've seen it all, like the top sales, best metrics. I've also seen smallest deal done, like smallest deal closed for a real estate company. And we
That's so cute. Like a tiny little award you gave out.
Yeah, well, because it's like
adorable.
Like this tiny little one. Because it's like it's this one real estate company, and they have like a wide range of like, you know, top salespeople, blah blah blah, like the usual, not the boring, but the usual. And then they have like smallest deal, longest deal, like old, like it's really funny that way. But it is one of those, like, they get really excited about these awards, and usually if it's partners or anything, they'll do duplicates for it versus like just doing it for a company, because for them giving it out is really meaningful and fun. And
that's something too that was really fun about this community awards, because some of the things we were recognizing people for, they didn't expect any recognition, which is why it was so fun. Like, obviously Cody didn't expect that recognition, and so he was so jazzed to get that award. One of the other things that we were looking at was some of the more innovative ideas that people have had. So whether it be like a really, really cool kit idea, or some creative way to help with drop shipping or holiday gifts, something that we've never seen before. Those kind of things are just kind of like little everyday decisions or little creative sparks that people post on this community. And now suddenly they have 10 people in the comments being like, oh my God, like that's so creative. That's such an amazing idea. This makes me want to do something amazing for the holidays for my client. So those little moments where someone's sharing something that they did and that they're proud of, but it's also pushing the industry forward in a way, because people are seeing that and being like, we can use this medium for something really cool. So it's just those little moments where you're like, we want to recognize those people are doing awesome things and they don't even expect recognition for it.
Yeah, and those are the best ones, is like, because like you also have 2 Power 50 ASI Power 50 winners on your list, or the top, I don't know, what is the category? It's sort of like the movers and the shakers. So between Cameron and Mark, apparently they're fancy people there.
Yeah, they were in at 49 this year, and they're so funny because they're like 2 of the most humble people I've ever met in my life. We're all like, yay, Catherine, Mark, you're number 49. And immediately, and I mean, we all tend to do this as well, but immediately they're like, but oh my gosh, like we have 18 suppliers and distributors that are on the community on the list this year as well. Like, that is just so amazing. Like, think about all the awesome innovations and things that are going to be going on in this community. And it's just amazing to me that they flip, like, that's the way their brains work, is like,
yeah,
look at all these powerful people that we have within this community that are going to be able to help us push us forward, not just them being number 49. So I think that's really cool. The interesting thing also about this year's list, and I said this in promo chat, was that I have no idea how they chose just 50 people this year. And I think one of the questions was like, who are your top 5? And I was like, top 5? I can't even pick 50. Like, this year has brought out so much moxie in people. Like, I've seen so many companies doing amazing and cool things, and I'm like, that deserves an award. That does, like, literally, you all get awards. Like, literally brought out the best in people, and that list must have been super hard to put together this year.
I know. I saw a tweet from Michelle Bell where she said that the list was filled with people who innovative and stepped up to this moment, and those and you know, there's an exclusion of those that didn't. So it is really interesting, because I think for that one, it's another one of those like soft metrics of like, you know, you can't really say it's all sales. And I find those awards more interesting, because you're like, okay, well, what was your decision-making process on it? And like, for me, I'm like, Mark and Catherine are amazing. They should be way higher than me. And their thing was like, oh, there's great people above us. And I was like, no, not on that list. And, but yeah, it is interesting, sort of what you look at as what truly is innovation, and how do you define it? And so I think a lot of companies have to go through the thought process you did with the Skummunity awards of like, who is an innovator, who is like someone that we should celebrate and promote, and also like what behaviors do we want to encourage.
Well, and I think that this year is super interesting because a lot of people, I think, were forced into that decision, not necessarily forced, but there was a turning point where obviously they needed to make a choice, which if in a normal year, maybe they would just continue on as they were. So I feel like ASI would have had way more people to look at this year and a lot more work.
Yeah. I know it's really tough because there's someone out there being like, well, I was on the list last year and I'm not on the list this year. So, well, that's a conversation I don't want to have. And other ones where you're like, oh yeah, good, you should have been moving up higher, or even
I think that they had like a record number of new people on the list this year, which was awesome to see. But also, like, that's really a testament to all the fact that whether you're a big company or you're a small company, if you're doing really cool, innovative things, like those awards and recognitions are out there for you, and you're going to be able to achieve them, even if you're a smaller guy or you're doing something kind of out of the box.
Yeah, exactly. It's so interesting. So, Aly, thank you for being part of our deep dive this week. So, where can we find you on the internet?
So I am the woman behind the bot, so to say. A lot of people think it's Mark and Bobby, and they'll message me and they'll be like, "Hey, Mark," and I'm like, "Sure, I'll be there today."
Find a lot of big words to use now if they think I'm Bob.
Yeah, exactly. Some poetry I'll throw in there.
Yeah.
But we're at commonsku on everything, on Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram. You can follow my personal socials, are just at Aly Brunton. And that's it.
Fabulous. And thank you to our sponsors, Maple Ridge, who are part of our deep dive and are always amazing for us. We would give them so many awards if we could, and they'd probably just send us chocolate and candy in return. So as a thank you for that. And we also want to encourage everyone to join us. It's every week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on Twitter. Just follow the hashtag PromoChat, and we'll see you there. So thanks, Aly.
No problem.